Hello, dear viewer, and welcome to another episode of the Catholic League Forum. I'm Mike McDonald, Director of Communications at the Catholic League, and joining me today is Bill Donohue, President and CEO of the Catholic League. Now, Bill, we had another very busy week this week, so I want to dive into a couple of things. So you had a good piece out this Monday looking at some of the movies that will be coming forth in the Christmas season, and we took a special look at the ones that were particularly offensive to Christians because some Hollywood studios just love making fun of Christmas, Christians in general. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, in the past we've seen some really kind of vulgar kinds of commentary about Christians at Christmas time. This year it's all about blood. It's all violence. I thought that the people who were critical of the Catholic Church and whatnot were always the very peaceful type. Well, some of them were not, that's for sure. So instead of Silent Night, we now have, what is it?
Violent Night.
Violent Night, yeah. There's another one about Bloody Christmas and all that. It's all gory stuff. Now, you have to put yourself in the minds of these people who are making the movie. They're not going to make any money out of it because who goes to see it? As a sociologist, I would say it's mostly disturbed young white men. And there are many of them in our society. They're the Columbine people. They're next up at bat. Okay? That's what it feeds. It feeds that kind of thing. And notice they have to use blood in order to convey their message about hating us. So they're not going to go anywhere. So in one sense, they're not going to have a great effect on their culture, but it's our job at least to point it out to people.
Right, absolutely. And dear viewer, if you'd like a complete list, do check out our website, catholicleague.org. We'll have a link in the description below, but you can find a complete list there. Now, Bill, this is something that you've probably had a long history of running with, Piss Christ.
Oh, yeah.
So just to get our dear viewer up to speed here, Christie's, the auction house, is launched this sort of digital platform, and they do these things, NFTs, non-fungible tokens, which no one really knows what that means.
No,
they mostly just exist to launder money.
Right.
But it's essentially an image that's hardlined into a blockchain code online, and it belongs to one person forever.
You know more about it than I do, Mike. You're an expert on this stuff. They made a video out of this thing.
Yes, that's about as far as it goes, though, because that's about as much as I can tell you about it. So anyway, Bill, one of your most favorite works of art of all time, Piss Christ, is up on a blockchain, and Christie's is auctioning it off this week. Can you tell us about that?
When Serrano, back in the 1980s, he took a jar of his own urine, and he put a crucifix in it. And then he took pictures of it, and he got $15,000. So that's pretty good, for desecrating our religion. Now, look, he didn't choose the Star of David. He didn't choose the Islamic Star. He didn't put them in a jar of feces, right? He chose our religion because they always go after our religion. That's what they do. And it's kind of old hat at this point, somewhat passé. Christie's, the big auction house, always the elite, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always the elite. They decided to celebrate, basically, and recognize and commemorate 3 attempts to vandalize, they said. Well, how do they know that these people weren't just expressing themselves?
Right.
I mean, we're always told that art is in the eye of the beholder. There's no such thing as truth. We know that, right? I mean, all the postmodernists say that. So the people who work with who worked on this this NFT thing, as a group called Apolitical, and they say that they follow the principle of cultural terror, which doesn't sound very good to me, and that they like to work with agitators. Well, how do they know that the people who quote vandalize, and I say quote vandalize, because maybe they were expressing themselves, how do they know that they weren't agitators fulfilling the goal of cultural terror? So I think we have to keep an open mind about that.
Yeah, it would be nicer if they were open-minded. But Bill, I probably want to point this out because our dear viewer is probably unaware of this. You too are an artist.
Oh, yes.
This week on our website,
more of a BS artist, quite frankly, as many people say. But I'm an artist too, and I wanted to. We put up the video of me 10 years ago. I wanted to see how I could get a grant. I took a little bobblehead of Obama and put it in some Play-Doh, made it look like feces. I said, why don't I get any money for this? I get no money for any of this stuff. I mean, I just seem to I had to pay. It's a taxpayer for Serrano. So that's the injustice. I'm another victim.
Yeah. So, dear viewer, if you do want to see a complete version of that video, do check out our website. It's definitely worth the watch. Highly recommend. And Bill, while we're in the realm of arts, Trevor Noah, one of your favorite comedians.
He's going away on December 8th.
Yeah, we're going to have to say goodbye to him on December the 8th. why have you been tracking Trevor Noah throughout the years?
Well, we track anybody who's anti-Catholic. I mean, Jon Stewart before him, Bill Maher, anybody in any kind of field as well. Andre Serrano, for that matter. But so now he's saying goodbye, which is very good. We're very happy about that. That's next Thursday. So what we did was to give you an example of his legacy, his anti-Catholic legacy. The man is a virulent anti-Catholic, and if you have any doubts about it, go look at it. So I don't care if people say he could be a nice guy, he did a pretty good job. We don't care about that at the Catholic League. We don't go around giving trophies to people who don't offend us. We just simply point out people who do offend us, and his record is replete.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely worth the read there, dear viewer. Now, Bill, a little bit bigger story that I do want to focus some more time on. Disney had out over the weekend a new animated film for kids, Strange World, and it features, quote, the first teenage gay romance. So a little bit off the reservation there, and as you've been warning for a while now, and even last week we were talking about Disney just complete collapse on any sort of morals. Can you tell us why this story caught your attention?
Well, first of all, the idea of trying to sexualize children, whether it be straight or gay, we're opposed to. Let kids be kids. There's plenty of time to learn about sex later in life. But Disney won't let go. Disney's morally corrupt. We understand that. They like the idea of denying parents the rights in Florida and across the country to assert themselves. They think it's perfectly fine for kids in kindergarten through third grade to be questioned whether or not they're happy being a boy or a girl, and then maybe they consider transitioning. So we know that Disney is morally corrupt. Robert Iger's not going to change anything. It began with him, in fact, right. not this guy, Chapek. Anyhow, the thing is, this movie here doesn't go over too well with people who don't want to get their kids involved by the sexual engineers and introduction to gayness. And so Strange World failed, okay? Now, Disney put $180 million into this movie. That's a lot. They stand to lose about $100 million. I mean, I know they're big. Nobody can just continue to lose $100 million on the movies. They only made $40 million the first week out with Thanksgiving. People don't want to, our country in the Western world in general has gone gay crazy, okay? We're not talking about tolerance for gay people in the workplace. That's fine and good. We're talking here about the gay radical agenda being shoved down our throat, and parents are recoiling. And I hope Disney's following the bottom line, because they have no morals. Right. The only thing left for them is money.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So definitely something we'll continue to keep track of here at the Catholic League, because Disney is such a big powerhouse and touches so many children's lives.
And we'll have more to say about Disney next week.
Absolutely. And Bill, just want to wrap this up a little bit off the Catholic League path, but you do comment on a lot of these sort of social, cultural, political changes going on. And this week you demonstrated that you're such a huge soccer aficionado by taking us through some of the stuff going on around the FIFA World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm noticing all these white boys from Western Europe and North America taking knees and wearing One Love, and it's all about gays. It's always about gays. Always about gays. So they're going to protest because in Qatar they don't have human rights respected for homosexuals and whatnot. Well, then why the hell are they there?
Right.
Why are they? We know why they're there. They want the money. Okay, it's very lucrative for the soccer players, and so when they come out of this World Cup and they go in, so they're not going to worry about that. And they know that Nike's the sponsor. Nike's a slave master in China. Notice that they never protest about the rights of the unborn being destroyed throughout the world. It's about gays. It's not about the life of the unborn. So they're very selective. And then we find out that all these people involved, the coaches and whatnot, they're all phonies. I mean, the American guy comes out there, he won't wear red, white, and blue, the coach, that is. He won't say United States. He comes out with a black and white shirt which says States. I mean, it reminds me of Belushi in some of his movies. He just had a sweatshirt that said college.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun because we didn't know what college it was. Well, this guy States. What does that mean? Why didn't you say United States? Next shirt he wore, he had States, and then underneath was United. The man doesn't like America. He should not be running the soccer team. Okay,
Right.
I don't have to love America 100%, but I'm saying if you don't like America, in fact, if you hate it enough that you won't even wear a red, white, and blue with the emblems of the United States of America, you have no business being there. And we found out though that he's a big supporter of Black Lives Matter. So when it comes to urban terrorism, he's on board. Okay, these Black Lives Matter has ripped off black people worse than any white supremacists have in the last 10 years. They took all the money, they spent it on themselves. They're involved in all kinds of tax fraud. But the guy who's the head of the soccer team in the United States, he likes them, but he doesn't want to wear United States. These people are phonies. They're all very wealthy people claiming victim status. And we just thought we'd point that out to the average viewer, that you're dealing with a lot of frauds out there.
Yep, absolutely. Definitely worth check out, even if you don't like soccer.
I don't care for it myself.
Yeah, the corruption sinks to the high heavens. But Bill, I feel like this is a good point to wrap it up. Dear viewer, if you're interested in any of the stories that we discussed today, do check out our website, CatholicLeague.org. We'll have a link in the description below. And as always, if you can give this video a like and subscribe, that helps us beat Big Tech's algorithm. Gets in front of more people, more viewers, more people involved. So these are all good things. Thank you for watching, and Bill, thanks again.
Thanks a lot.